Hey guys, got a bit of advice for you today, and it relates to yesterday. Now, yesterday, yes, I missed a bit of advice for you, but today's is so powerful it's going to make up for both days. I'm sitting here in my gym where I lost some of my 80 pounds here. Most of it was at some other gyms on some spin bikes and all that stuff. But yesterday I ran the LA Marathon. If you did not already know, I know there's about 60,000 of you guys that like my page but are not friends on my profile, so you may not know that. My point is, now I started out late. I did not intend to win it, and I did. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I won for me. But when you race on the road, when you're running, it's one of those sports that you're racing against your previous time. You're not really competing with everybody else unless you're way up in the front and you've got some corporate sponsors that are hoping that you win so that they can make some big money in advertising and all that kind of stuff. But I started towards the end of the line. Now, I wanted to run it in under 8 hours. Yeah, you heard right. Running for 8 hours. Well, let's just say run, walk. Run, walk, and then like walk for the last 4 miles or so. But as I finished the finish line, I wanted to be under 8, and it was like 8:06. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm 6 minutes behind. And my coach, Ed Eddinghauser, is the one who I mentioned before, I think. He holds the Guinness Book of World Records record for running the most 100-mile races in a year. So Ed was with me because he had already run his, and he came back and walked in with me. And yeah, you heard me right, walk, because I was at that point 26 miles. Anyway, so the clock was 6 minutes after, and I thought, no, I didn't make it. And then he reminded me, he said, well, you started towards the back, didn't you? That clock is matched up with the first runner because that's when they kicked it off, and that's when the clock started. So because I started so far back, I actually found out that I ran it in 7 minutes and 7 hours and 37 minutes, I believe. So I was like about 20 minutes or so ahead of the time that I wanted to beat. So I beat the time. The point is, don't look at the clock. And what I mean by that, and how can you apply that to everything else in your life? Well, don't listen to what everybody else is saying. Don't just worry about the grade you got on your last test. Don't just worry about whether or not you got the last raise. Quit looking at that stuff and just compete with yourself and do the very best that you can. Leave the clock alone. And leave the scale alone too, by the way. It's all about how your clothes fit, not how much you weigh. So that's extra a little bit. Maybe we'll do that another day. But that's your bit of advice for today, is quit watching the clock. And if you're an employee somewhere and you're literally watching the clock for when to leave, guess what? You don't love your job. You know, either learn to love it or learn to leave it and go love another job. See you guys later. That's your bit of advice for today. And if you notice, I got sunburned big time. So there's got to be some bit of advice for use sunscreen when you run a marathon. See y'all later. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me. That's your bit of advice for today. See you tomorrow.